YouTube. It's your boy Buddha back in the building for another Last Cloudia PSA and information video that I want to make sure to get out while this event is live and it's hot right now. We got the part 2 of Last Cloudia's 2.5 year anniversary dropped on us yesterday, and with it brought some very exciting things. I have my plate filled with some topics I want to cover before things go away and the hype dies down, but we're just going to take it on one at a time. I know I talked about doing some live streams over the weekend, but after reviewing what I had to do left, we completed story, we did our summons, we worked on Maja a little bit, tested him out, and when I got into the new event maps and quests that are live right now, it's really just this Festival Sun Vessel Island that's important, and it wasn't like a ton of extra drawn out content that I feel needs more live streams to really cover and undergo. I know hanging out with you guys, it is a very special and fun time, but I really want to save those live streams for big things like day one update drops, new summons, things like that. With that being said, there is some information and some things that I need to go over. And for today's video, we're going to be talking about the event limit breaker fields, the festival limit breaker tower. This is one of the best event grinds that they have given us for current Last Cloudia players, for many different reasons. So a ton of you guys already know about this and were jumping on this before I even got a chance to, but after farming it last night and this morning, I was like, I have to make a video. I had to make a PSA on this. Guys, I'm going to start out by saying, please, for the love of all that is holy, do not host any multiplayer limit breaker fields. This is a complete waste of orbs, and your drop rates on these pale in comparison to the new quests on this Festival Sun Vessel Island. If you're like, oh, well, I want to be a good Samaritan and help others, okay, you white knight, but if you are a smart player, you're going to use every single orb that you can on whichever one of these festival limit breaker fields that's relevant to whatever you're trying to grind. So let's start with why this event, this limit breaker tower, is so insane. One, because it provides you with extremely rare and valuable 5-star buffing materials, and Godforge materials nonetheless. So looking at things like the Beast's Eye, or the Beast Nucleus that we have there, the Onyx Eye that we saw previous, the Worldly Limit Breaker Field, which gives you feathers, big material used, very common for upgrading a lot of the desired 5-star characters. And then of course your other 5-star or 7 to 9-star materials like the claws, the bird claws, the Forbidden Beast tails, and the hands, and all the good stuff that has been frustrating for a lot of more endgame players and even recent players, because previously, in order to efficiently farm those, the best source that we had was multiplayer, which, as we all know, is very far from a perfect game mode currently. A lot of players don't have access to it. There are a lot of bugs surrounding it. There's a lot of lag surrounding it, and they're just a pain, and they're not fun to do. And they cost a ton of orbs. I mean, this is even discounted, the fact that these cost 2 orbs. Or actually, I think that's a permanent change that they lowered it. They did. It used to be 3 orbs to run this Worldly Limit Breaker Field God multi. If you were running anything besides this one, you were shooting a shot in the dark to try and get the mats that you needed. Like this other tier stage, good luck ever getting one of these. And the thing is, you're going to need like 5 per character when you're 5-starring them. So this was our best stage, and the drop rates were horrendous. It was like a time to rejoice if you get one of these to drop, and if you get 2 or 3 of them, you got a godly run. With this event, the Festival Sun Vessel Island. One, it's not multiplayer. So this allows all players to have access, right? Even if your device can't run multiplayer, you don't have to fear anymore. You don't have to rely on the very limited sources to get these types of materials outside of running those multiplayer stages. You now have an extremely cost-efficient event since it's one orb, and the rates are absolutely ridiculous. We're going to go ahead and run, make sure I'm running the right one. Yes, I need Onyx Eyes. We're going to go ahead and run and see if I can demonstrate how stupid these runs are and the rates at which they drop. So let me get another character with Beast Hunter. I'll show you the team that I've been running for this stage. Make sure we have the appropriate Slayer. Should be Undead. Yes, perfect. And with this, the difficulty, I notice, has been severely decreased. The health pool on the bosses are much smaller than compared to their multiplayer stages that we're used to running. So running a team like this is very, very doable. I've got Sheeta as my main DPS. We now have Carol, who gives me that 1.1 times multiplier on my chest drop rates. We got our double Beast Hunter, and we're ready to farm the heck out of these stages, guys. If this goes the way that I hope it does, it's very common that you walk away with 2 of those 9-star materials. Here we are on the final wave, so I'm going to start it off just by popping our Beast Hunter. Make sure you get this leveled up, the arc skill leveled up as soon as possible, so you get that 100% extra steal rate on the boss. Then we just go to work. All these bosses have the exact same mechanics as their multiplayer counterparts that we're used to, so they have the HP locks exactly where you're going to remember them. Very annoying to deal with, but as you can see, with one viable DPS, that being Sheeta, we can easily drop this health, this boss's health down very quickly. Actually, I'm not sure if the difficulty... Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they have much less health than their original counterparts. But here we go. While we wait for this HP lock to go away, I can deal the killing blow after this spell. Go ahead and break the boss just for visual effects. And beautiful. Sheeta finishes it off. Loving Sheeta, by the way. Just super, super fun unit to use the more that I use them. And there you go. So we got the quest clear. Right? We only used one orb. Very easy clear. We've got a ton of things to help us with those drops. And boom, I didn't get the double, but I mean, even just walking away with one of these, the majority of times that you run this stage is absolutely nuts. And I can guarantee you, I mean, I've probably been farming for a total collective time of 1 to 1.5 hours of this stage. And I've walked away with at least 11 or more of these eyes, which is absolutely insane. I was watching Tweak's live stream earlier, and I mean, he said it best. He's done multiplayer grinds where for 2 hours he didn't get a single drop of the 9-star mats from those other stages. So, like, I could keep running these just to show you, like, how on average you're going to be walking away with these materials, but I'm just hoping you'll take my word for it and trust me. I mean, with that, I was able to 5-star Spirit Maiden Tyria and get another 5 Onyx Eyes ready for when Maja is level 100 and I can 5-star him. So there you can see the 5-star Tyria who needed 5 of those Onyx Eyes, and then we've also got replenished and 4 more on top of that. So we're looking at 5 plus 5 plus 4, so 14 of these Onyx Eyes I've gotten, probably in a total span of 1.5 hours of grinding. If you've been playing the game for a while, you'll know that that's a ridiculous return on these materials. So extremely generous grind that they have given us. Super generous for all players, especially since it's not a multiplayer required source of grinding these materials. And now you can absolutely spend your orbs on this. And I'm not even going to front with you guys. I'm probably going to spend gems just to run this at this point. I don't recommend that for anyone who's trying to save gems and has a low amount for future things coming, but since we're sitting at such a high amount of gems, I might drop some gem refreshes just so I can take advantage of how insanely lucrative this is here. Everything else in the event is pretty standard, nothing too crazy to highlight. Obviously the drill house, you want to do this. These are like the equivalents to your your super soul accumulation, which gives you 50 souls for whichever unit. Then you've got your 5 runs of special skill study dungeon and 3 runs of special training field. Those are nice to do when you're trying to work on characters, but after that, full send on your orbs in this area here. Now, here's the question, which I don't know. The ability tower, this is where you grind a select amount of colored crystal events. They don't have all of them active. They cycle through every time we reset. But see, it doesn't look like we can get mega clusters from here. So to me, I'm probably never going to touch this after yesterday. All of my orbs are going to this limit breaker tower for all of the reasons that I just mentioned before. So a ton of you are privy to that information already, but super important PSA for those who haven't paid attention or haven't been looking out, and this is the first video that's exposing them to this. Please, for the love of all that is holy, in your 5-starring efforts, use this limit breaker tower while it's around. Don't let it slip your grasp. And I think that's all I got for you this time, guys. Like, subscribe, hit that bell notification if you're hyped for this extremely generous grind that Idis has provided us. And turn on all notifications so you know exactly when I post. You won't miss a video in case of emergency. And with all that being said, guys, y'all know what we say. Work hard, play harder. See you in the next video.